A billionaire disguised as homeless. A poor laborer with nothing but a kind heart. He shared his rice, his shelter, his life, never asking for anything in return. She accepted it all, hiding the fact that she could buy his entire world 10 times over. When he discovered her secret, the market fell silent, and the choice she made next revealed what money can and cannot buy. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments what time it is and where you're watching from. Let's start. Sophia Martinez stood at the floor-to-ceiling window of her Manhattan penthouse, looking down at the city lights twinkling like stars. From up here, on the 45th floor, everything looked beautiful, perfect, magical, but Sophia felt nothing. She was 27 years old and worth $400 million. Her tech company had made her one of the youngest billionaires in America. Forbes magazine called her the Golden Girl of Silicon Valley. People everywhere knew her name, yet nobody really knew her. Another party tonight, Miss Martinez. Her assistant reminded her from across the room. The mayor will be there, and 3 senators. They're all excited to meet you. Sophia nodded without turning around. Another party. More people smiling at her money, not at her. More conversations about investments and stock prices. More fake laughter and empty compliments. She was tired. So tired. That night, after the party, Sophia made a decision that would change everything. I need to know, she whispered to herself in the mirror. I need to know if anyone can love me for who I am, not what I own. She opened her closet, full of designer dresses worth thousands of dollars each, and pushed them all aside. Instead, she pulled out old jeans with holes in the knees, a faded t-shirt, and worn-out sneakers she kept from college. Sophia looked at herself in the mirror. The expensive makeup was gone. The perfect hair was messy. The designer clothes were replaced with rags. She looked ordinary, poor, invisible. Perfect, she said. The next morning, Sophia took the subway, something she hadn't done in 5 years. She rode it all the way to the South Bronx, to the big street market where hundreds of people came to buy and sell every day. She had exactly $5 in her pocket. That was all. No credit cards. No bodyguards. No fancy car waiting to rescue her. Just $5 and a plan to live as a homeless girl named Maria for as long as she could survive. The market was loud and crowded. Vendors shouted about their prices. Music blared from speakers. The smell of fried food mixed with garbage and exhaust from trucks. Sophia, now Maria, found a spot near some dumpsters behind the fruit stands. She sat down on the dirty concrete and watched people walk by. At first, it felt like an adventure. Exciting. Different. But after 2 hours, the excitement died. Her stomach started growling. The $5 in her pocket felt like nothing. A single meal at the market cost at least $7. People walked past her. Some stared. Most ignored her completely, like she was invisible. "Get away from here!" An angry vendor yelled at her. "You're scaring my customers." Sophia moved to a different spot. By afternoon, she was starving. Her throat was dry. The sun beat down hard, and she had no shade. Her back hurt from sitting on concrete. This was harder than she thought. "You new here?" Sophia looked up. A woman with tired eyes stood over her, holding a broom. "Yes," Sophia said quietly, remembering to use her fake name. "I'm Maria." "Well, Maria, you picked a bad spot. The police sweep through here every evening. They'll chase you away." The woman shook her head. "Try the east side near the warehouses. Safer." "Thank you," Sophia whispered. The woman walked away without another word. As the sun began to set, Sophia's stomach cramped with hunger. She hadn't eaten all day. The $5 stayed in her pocket. She was saving it, afraid to spend it because she didn't know when she'd get more. That's when she heard it. Squeak, squeak, squeak. A rusty wheelbarrow rolled past, pushed by a man covered in dirt and sweat. He was tall and strong, with kind eyes and hands rough from hard work. He stopped a few feet away and set down the wheelbarrow. Then he pulled out a small container. The kind workers carried their lunch in. He opened it and started eating rice with his hands. Sophia's stomach growled so loud She was sure he heard it. The man looked up at her. Their eyes met. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Then, without a word, the man stood up and walked over to her. He held out the container. "You hungry?" he asked simply. Sophia stared at the rice. Half of it was already gone. He'd been eating it, but her stomach didn't care. I don't have money to pay you," she admitted. "Did I ask for money?" The man's voice was gentle but firm. "I asked if you're hungry." Tears suddenly filled Sophia's eyes. When was the last time someone had offered her something without wanting something back? "Yes," she whispered. "I'm very hungry." "Then eat." He placed a container in her hands. Sophia ate like she'd never eaten before. The rice was cold and plain, with just a little bit of beans mixed in, but it tasted better than any 5-star meal she'd ever had. "Thank you," she said between bites. "Thank you so much." The man sat down beside her, not too close, but close enough to talk. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maria," Sophia lied. "What's yours?" "Marcus." He smiled and his whole face changed. Despite the dirt and exhaustion, his smile was warm and real. "You're new to the streets, aren't you?" Sophia nodded, finishing the last of the rice. "I can tell," Marcus continued. "You still have hope in your eyes. Give a few weeks, and that hope dies. The street kills it." "Have you been homeless long?" Sophia asked carefully. "Me? No, I'm not homeless." Marcus laughed, but it was a sad sound. "I work here. Loading trucks, moving boxes, whatever needs muscle. I make just enough to rent a tiny room and feed my daughter." "You have a daughter?" "Lily. She's 6 years old." Marcus's eyes lit up when he said her name. "She lives with my sister during the day while I work. Her mother left us 2 years ago. Said she didn't sign up for poverty." He shrugged. "Can't blame her, I guess." Sophia's heart ached. Here was a man who had almost nothing, yet he just shared his only meal with a stranger. "Why did you help me?" she asked quietly. Marcus looked at her with those kind, tired eyes. "Because you looked hungry," he said simply, "and because someone helped me once when I needed it. I'm just passing it forward." They sat in silence for a while, watching the market slowly empty as vendors closed their stands and went home. "You got a place to sleep tonight?" Marcus finally asked. Sophia shook her head. "There's a spot under the overpass, about 3 blocks east. It's safer than here. Some of the street folks look out for each other there." Marcus stood up and grabbed his wheelbarrow. "I got to get back to work." "But Maria," "Be careful, okay? The streets aren't kind to people, especially women." "I will," Sophia promised. Marcus started to walk away, then stopped and turned back. "Hey, Maria, I eat lunch here every day around noon. If you're still around tomorrow, I'll bring extra rice." Then he was gone, his wheelbarrow squeaking into the distance. Sophia sat there in the growing darkness, holding the empty food container. For the first time in years, someone had seen her, really seen her, and helped her without knowing her name, her money, or her status. Marcus didn't know she could buy the entire market with a single phone call. He just knew she was hungry, and he fed her. Sophia looked down at her dirty hands and torn clothes. Her penthouse felt like another world, a world where everything was fake and shallow. But this moment, this was real. She curled up against the wall that night, using her jacket as a pillow, and for the first time in months, Sophia Martinez smiled a real smile. She had started an experiment to test humanity. What she didn't know was that humanity was about to test her right back. And a man named Marcus, with nothing but a wheelbarrow and a kind heart, was going to teach her what real wealth actually meant. Marcus kept his promise. The next day at noon, he appeared with a squeaky wheelbarrow and 2 containers of rice instead of 1. "Good morning, Maria," he said with that warm smile. "You survived the night." Sophia, still pretending to be Maria, nodded. She had barely slept under the overpass. The concrete was hard and cold. Strange noises kept her awake, but she'd survived. "Here." Marcus handed her a container. "Eat. You look pale." They sat together and ate in comfortable silence. Around them, the market buzzed with life. Vendors shouted. Trucks honked. But in their small corner, Everything felt peaceful. Why do you keep helping me? Sophia asked. You don't even know me. Marcus chewed his rice thoughtfully before answering. My mama used to say, baby, when you see someone drowning, you don't ask their name first. You throw the rope. You look like you were drowning yesterday. Maria, still do if I'm honest. Sophia's throat tightened. Your mama sounds wise. She was. Marcus's voice grew soft. She passed 3 years ago. Cancer. Couldn't afford the treatments. He paused. That's when everything fell apart. Lost my construction job. Wife left. Started doing day labor just to survive. I'm so sorry, Sophia whispered. Life happens, Marcus shrugged. But you know what keeps me going? Lily, my little girl. Every morning, she hugs me and says, Daddy, you're my hero. Doesn't matter that we're poor. Doesn't matter that I can't buy her fancy toys. To her, I'm still a hero. His eyes glistened. That's worth more than all the money in the world. Sophia felt something crack inside her chest. Here was a man who measured wealth in hugs, not dollars. Days turned into weeks. Every day at noon, Marcus brought 2 containers of rice. Sometimes he added a piece of fruit. Once, he brought a blanket for her. Found it at the donation center. He explained. Thought you could use it. Sophia wrapped herself in that cheap blanket every night like it was made of gold. They talked about everything. Marcus told her about Lily's favorite cartoons, her dreams of becoming a teacher, the way she laughed at his silly jokes. He told her about his sister Rosa, who helped watch Lily but struggled with 3 kids of her own. Sophia, as Maria, told him carefully crafted lies mixed with truth. She said she'd lost her family, that she was trying to find her way, that she'd made mistakes. The lies tasted bitter in her mouth, but she wasn't ready to tell the truth. Not yet. The market people noticed her friendship. Look at those 2, vendors whispered. The homeless girl and the poor laborer. Someone laughed. Perfect match. 2 people with nothing, pretending they have something. Another sneered. The words stung, but Marcus ignored them. He just kept showing up every day with food and kindness. One afternoon, a well-dressed woman walked through the market and saw them sitting together. Disgusting, she said loudly to her friend. Look at those street people. They should get real jobs instead of begging. Marcus's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. Sophia felt anger burn in her chest. She wanted to stand up and scream. I'm worth $400 million. I could buy your house with my pocket change. But she stayed quiet, because that's exactly what this experiment was about, experiencing how people treated you when you had nothing. After 3 weeks, something shifted between them. It happened on a rainy Thursday. Sophia was shivering under her thin blanket when Marcus appeared, soaked through from the rain. Come on, he said urgently. You can't stay here. You'll get sick. Where can I go? Sophia asked, teeth chattering. Marcus hesitated, then made a decision. My place. It's tiny, but it's dry. I can't. Yes, you can. Come on. Marcus's place was a single room in a rundown building. 1 room for everything, sleeping, cooking, living. A mattress on the floor, a hot plate, a small table. That was it, but it was warm and dry. Lily's at my sister's tonight, Marcus explained, giving Sophia a towel. You can sleep on the mattress. I'll take the floor. No, I should take the floor. Maria, Marcus looked at her firmly. Let me be a gentleman, okay? It's all I got left. That night, lying on Marcus's mattress while he slept on the hard floor with just a thin blanket, Sophia cried silently. This man had nothing, yet he gave her everything he had. When was the last time someone in her billionaire world had sacrificed anything for her? The next morning, Marcus made instant coffee on his hot plate, the cheap kind that tasted like dirty water. But Sophia drank it like it was the finest espresso. Maria, Marcus said quietly, stirring his coffee, can I ask you something? Sure. What's your real story? I know you're not telling me everything. Sophia's heart stopped. What do you mean? Your hands, Marcus said gently. They're not the hands of someone who's been on the streets their whole life. Your teeth are too perfect. The way you talk, educated. You're hiding something. Sophia felt panic rise in her throat. Hey, it's okay. Marcus held up his hand. Everyone's got secrets. I'm not judging. I just want you to know, whatever you're running from, whatever mistakes you made, you're safe with me. I won't hurt you. I won't use you. I care about you, Maria. A lot. The words hung in the air between them. Sophia looked into Marcus's kind, honest eyes and felt her heart break into a million pieces. He cared about her. Not Sophia Martinez, tech billionaire. Not the woman on magazine covers. Just Maria, the homeless girl with nothing. I care about you too, she whispered. And she meant it. Over the next week, their connection deepened. Marcus introduced Sophia to Lily, a bright, beautiful 6-year-old with her father's kind eyes. Are you Daddy's girlfriend? Lily asked innocently. Sophia blushed. Marcus cleared his throat awkwardly. We're friends, baby girl, Marcus said. But the way he looked at Sophia said something different. One evening, as they sat watching the sunset from a market's edge, Marcus took Sophia's hand. Maria, he said softly, I know I got nothing to offer you. No money, no fancy house, no security. But I got something real to give you, honesty, loyalty, and a heart that won't quit on you. Would you consider being with me? Really being with me? Sophia's eyes filled with tears. Marcus, I know it's crazy, he continued quickly. Poor guy asking a homeless girl to be his girlfriend. We're both broke. But maybe together we can build something. Maybe. Yes, Sophia interrupted. Yes, I'll be with you. Marcus's face lit up like the sun. He pulled her into a hug, and Sophia felt safer than she'd ever felt in her penthouse 45 floors above the world. But that safety was about to shatter. 2 days later, Sophia was sitting at their usual spot when she heard gasps nearby. Oh my God, is that her? Look at this magazine. A group of people crowded around someone holding a Forbes magazine. The latest issue. Sophia's blood turned to ice. Manhattan's youngest tech billionaire, someone read aloud. Sophia Martinez, worth $400 million. They held up the magazine, and there on the glossy cover was Sophia's face, her real face, in a designer dress, standing in front of her company's headquarters. The crowd turned and looked directly at her. That's her, someone shouted. That's Sophia Martinez. What's she doing dressed like a homeless person? Everything happened in slow motion. People pulled out phones, taking pictures. Vendors abandoned their stands to stare. The whispers grew into shouts. Is this some kind of joke? Rich people playing games. She's been lying to us. Then Sophia heard the voice that made her heart stop. Maria? She turned. Marcus stood there, wheelbarrow forgotten, holding the Forbes magazine someone had shoved into his hands. He looked at the magazine, then at her, then back at the magazine. Maria, that's you. This is you. His voice cracked. You're a billionaire? Sophia stood up, tears streaming down her face. Marcus, I can explain. You lied to me. Marcus's voice was barely a whisper. Everything. Your name. Your story. Everything was a lie. No. My feelings were real. Was this a game to you? Marcus's eyes filled with hurt and anger. Was I part of some rich person's experiment? Feed the poor guy. See how he reacts? Get a good story to tell at your fancy parties. Marcus, please. I shared everything with you. Marcus's voice rose. My food, my home, my daughter. I gave you everything I had, and you were lying the whole time. The crowd watched silently, phones recording every moment. Marcus dropped the magazine and walked away. Marcus, wait. Sophia cried, running after him. Please let me explain. But Marcus didn't stop. He grabbed his wheelbarrow and disappeared into the crowd. Sophia stood in the middle of the market, surrounded by staring people and clicking cameras, and realized she just lost the most real thing she'd ever had. The experiment was over, and she'd failed the only test that mattered, the test of trust. For 3 days, Sophia didn't leave her penthouse. She sat by the window, staring down at the city, replaying Marcus's hurt face over and over in her mind. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Her assistant knocked on the door constantly. "Miss Martinez, the media wants a statement. They're calling it Billionaire's cruel social experiment. Your board of directors is concerned. We need damage control." But Sophia didn't care about damage control. She only cared about one thing, Marcus. On the fourth day, she made a decision. She got dressed, not in designer clothes, but in simple jeans and a t-shirt. She took the subway back to the Bronx, back to the market where everything had fallen apart. People recognized her immediately. There she is, the fake homeless girl. Rich people are sick, playing games with us. Sophia ignored them and walked straight to the spot where Marcus usually worked. He wasn't there. "Excuse me," she asked an older vendor. "Have you seen Marcus?" The man with the wheelbarrow. The woman looked at her with disgust. "Why? So you can hurt him again?" "Please," Sophia begged. "I need to talk to him. I need to explain." "He doesn't want to see you," the woman said coldly. "He hasn't been back since you broke his heart. Now leave before I call someone to make you leave." Sophia's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't give up. She went to the building where Marcus lived, climbed the stairs to his single room, knocked on the door. No answer. She knocked again. "Marcus? Marcus, please. I know you're angry. I know I hurt you. But please, just let me explain." Silence. "I'm not leaving," Sophia said, sitting down in the hallway outside his door. "I'll wait here as long as it takes." She waited for 6 hours. Finally, as the sun began to set, the door opened. Marcus stood there, looking exhausted and hurt. "What do you want, Sophia?" Hearing her real name from his lips felt strange and painful. "I want to tell you the truth," she said quietly. "All of it." Marcus didn't invite her in, but he didn't close the door either. He just leaned against the doorframe and waited. Sophia took a deep breath. "You're right. I lied about my name and my past. But everything else, everything I felt was completely real. How can I believe that?" Marcus's voice was bitter. "You're a billionaire. You can buy anything you want. Was I just another thing you wanted to buy?" "No." Sophia stood up. "Marcus, listen to me. I came to that market because I was lonely. I have $400 million, and I've never felt more alone in my life. Everyone who comes near me wants something, my money, my connections, my influence. Nobody sees me. Nobody cares about Sophia. They only care about what Sophia can give them." Marcus's expression softened slightly, but he stayed silent. "I want to know if anyone could love me for who I really am," Sophia continued, tears streaming down her face. "Not for my money or my status. Just me. So I disguised myself and came to the streets with $5, and I met you. And I passed your test." Marcus said quietly, "Congratulations. You proved poor people can be kind. Now what?" "Now I'm telling you that you changed me," Sophia said firmly. "You shared your food when you were hungry. You gave me your blanket when you were cold. You introduced me to Lily when you had every reason to protect her from a stranger. You offered me love when you had nothing to gain. Marcus, you showed me what real wealth looks like, and it has nothing to do with money." Marcus looked away, jaw tight. "I fell in love with you," Sophia whispered. "Not as part of an experiment. Not as a game. I fell in love with your kindness, your strength, your heart. And yes, I should have told you the truth sooner. I was scared. Scared you'd look at me differently. Scared you want me for my money, like everyone else. Scared I'd lose the one real thing I'd ever found." "You lost it anyway," Marcus said. "I know." Sophia's voice broke. "And I deserve that. But Marcus, I'm here now with the truth. I'm Sophia Martinez. I'm a billionaire. I'm terrified of being used. I'm lonely despite having everything. And I'm completely, desperately in love with a man who has every right to slam this door in my face." For a long moment, Marcus said nothing. Then he spoke, his voice thick with emotion. "Do you know what hurt the most? It wasn't that you lied about being rich. It was that you didn't trust me. I gave you everything. Sophia, everything. And you couldn't give me the truth. You're right, Sophia nodded. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I need time, Marcus said finally. I need to think. Okay. Sophia wiped her eyes. Take all the time you need. But Marcus, I meant what I said. I love you, the real you, and I hope someday you can love the real me. She turned to leave. Wait. Sophia stopped. Marcus stepped forward, close enough that she could see the conflict in his eyes. If we do this, if we try this, it has to be honest. Completely honest. No more lies. No more games. Just two people figuring it out together. Yes, Sophia breathed. Yes, I promise. And I need to know you want me, not just the idea of a humble poor guy who makes you feel good about yourself. Marcus, I want you, all of you, your struggles, your daughter, your tiny room, your wheelbarrow, everything. I don't want to change you. I want to build a life with you. Marcus studied her face for a long time. Then, slowly, he reached out and took her hand. Okay, he said quietly. Let's try. Sophia threw her arms around him, and Marcus held her tight. But I have conditions, Marcus said into her hair. Anything. First, I meet your real world. Your company, your life, everything. No more secrets. Done. Second, we take this slow. Lily comes first. Always. Absolutely. Third, Marcus pulled back to look at her seriously. We find a way to help others. If you really learn something from this, prove it. Use that money to actually change lives, not just play dress up in poverty. Sophia smiled through her tears. I already have a plan. 1 month later. Sophia stood in the center of the South Bronx market with Marcus by her side and Lily holding her hand. News cameras surrounded them. The entire neighborhood had gathered. My name is Sophia Martinez, she began, her voice clear and strong. A few months ago, I came to this market pretending to be homeless. It was wrong to deceive you, but what I learned here changed my life forever. She looked at Marcus, who gave her an encouraging nod. This community showed me what real wealth means. A vendor named Mrs. Rosa warned me about police sweeps when she didn't have to. Marcus here shares food when he barely had enough for himself. People with almost nothing still found ways to help each other. That's not poverty. That's richness of spirit. Sophia pulled out a document. Today, I'm announcing the Marcus Foundation, named after the man who taught me about true generosity. This foundation will provide $50,000 in grants to 10 people from this market who've shown extraordinary kindness to others. Mrs. Rosa, the fruit seller who warned me. You're getting the first grant. Miss Jenny, who gives free candy to kids even when business is slow. You're next. Gasps and tears filled the market. But that's not all, Sophia continued. I'm also funding a community center here with job training, childcare, and healthcare services. Because nobody should have to choose between feeding their kids and seeing a doctor. The crowd erupted in cheers. Later that evening, back at Marcus's tiny room, which he refused to leave despite Sophia's offers of something bigger, the three of them sat together eating pizza. Sophia, Lily said, tomato sauce on her cheeks. Are you really going to be my new mommy? Sophia looked at Marcus, who smiled and nodded. If you'll have me, Sophia said softly. Yes. Lily threw her arms around Sophia's neck. I always want a mommy. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out something small. A ring, not expensive, just a simple silver band he'd bought with his day labor wages. It's not much, he said, suddenly shy. It's perfect, Sophia whispered as he slipped it on her finger. It was perfect because it came from love, not money. 6 months later, Sophia, Marcus, and Lily stood at the airport, boarding a flight to Dubai for their honeymoon. A real family vacation. Lily's first time on a plane. Daddy, look how high we are. Lily pressed her face against a window. Marcus laughed, holding Sophia's hand tight. You know what's funny? He said to Sophia. A year ago, I had nothing. Now I have everything. We have everything, Sophia corrected, kissing him softly. Because real wealth isn't measured in dollars or penthouses or magazine covers. Real wealth is measured in shared meals, honest hearts, and love that sees past the surface. Sophia had started her journey looking for someone who could love her without her money. What she found was so much more. A man who taught her that the richest life is built on truth, kindness, and the courage to be real. And that crown, the crown of truth, it shines brighter than all the gold in the world. The end. The message. True love looks beyond appearances. Real wealth lives in the heart, not the bank account. And the greatest fortune is finding someone who loves you for your truth, not your treasures. Call to action. Did this story touch your heart? Drop a comment below and tell us. What time is it where you are? And where are you watching from? We love hearing from our community around the world. Here's what we want to know. Have you ever hidden part of yourself to test if someone truly cared? What does real well mean to you? Do you believe love can survive secrets and lies if the truth finally comes out? Share your thoughts, your stories, your lessons in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else who needs to hear it today. If the story moved you, thumbs up like this video to help others find it, bell subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories about love, truth, and what really matters in life. Share this with someone who needs to remember that their worth isn't measured by their wallet. Remember, you are valuable exactly as you are. The right people will see your worth without a price tag attached. We'll see you in the next story. Until then, stay true, stay kind, and remember, real recognizes real. Sparkles. What lesson did you take from Sophia and Marcus's story? Comment below. Backhand index pointing down.